everybody, and welcome
Yes.
to the African EV podcast. My name is Gad Senyujom Ashiabo. I am a moderator of African EV. And on this podcast, we talk about sustainable energy and transport solutions for Africa. So predominantly, you're going to hear things about energy, all about Africa. All right. So before we introduce our special guest today, I want us to meet a couple of the team who are here. These are members of African EV generally. And maybe I think Mr. Anthony is not part of us, but John, introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is John Singo. I'm a moderator at African EV, and I am also a solar installer in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I'll let John Bagaliko introduce himself next.
Okay, hello everyone. I am John Bagaliko, not Bagaliko. I'm a Ghanaian. Yeah, I'm a Ghanaian. I am the founder and team lead of AI Ghana, which focuses on promoting the use of artificial intelligence in solving real-world problems. I'm also a data scientist and a software engineer. And when I'm not busy, I like to write and read a lot of novels and other books. Yeah, that's me.
So John is a member of African EV. I think I saw
Yes.
Olukokun. Olukokun, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My first name is Tolu Lokwe, and my last name is Olukokun. But God will always call my surname first.
Okay.
And lecturer, and I'm into e-mobility and renewable energy generally. It's nice meeting you all.
Olukokun, you are being modest. He is the founder of Think Electric Africa, and he is also a moderator of African EV like me, as well as the director of e-mobility for African EV. John is a director for Eastern Africa. Then, who else again? Mureni Keji. Can you talk? I think we have to unmute him.
He's on mute.
We scared him.
Okay. Well, maybe for now we can skip him because of his background.
Okay, I think I'm here now, but the noise in the background can be quite disturbing because I'm actually on transit.
Okay. So introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Akinwale Boreni Keji. Okay, we are actually okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, maybe I can introduce him for everybody to save us time. His name is Akinwale Mureni Keji. He is Nigerian. He is a founder and CEO of Green Tech Media Solutions. I hope I've called it correctly. So they are into solar installations for residential consumers. Okay, in Nigeria. So they have installations all over. He has been a guest on the podcast before. He's also a member of African EV and a colleague of a classmate of Olukokun. Then I think Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you. Okay, today is my first time joining this. I saw it on the Solar Professional platform. Then I said, why not? And I saw that today you have a special guest. So let me take advantage and join you. Okay, I'm Anthony. I'm a Ghanaian, but okay, I've been naturalized here in Belgium. I'm working for a company called Caterpillar, that is the earth moving machines. And I am in the power systems branch, whereby I am in charge of the African continent. And I have opened a solar company in Ghana, whereby I have. So we are in solar energy and also in biomass as well, and as well as energy efficiency. And I have also some of my partners here in Europe. So we started and been hit hard by the pandemic, but we are trying to recover and bounce back and get some green energy for the continent and also for Ghana.
All right, all right, all
So,
right. All right.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you too.
I'm sure that maybe
Yes.
we'll have you on as one of our guests to talk especially about the biogas components. But then,
okay,
let us move on
to
our special guest. Today is the 8th of March, 2021. If you are watching this, that means that it is International Women's Day. And our guest today, she's very peculiar to me. I met her last year, January, and we actually went to give them a presentation. What I noticed about her was that she was very smart and very precise. Okay, well, at least I think I'm smart, but I know I'm not precise. I'm targeted. So without much ado, I want to introduce to us and to everybody watching Ulrika Tornerefelt, a Norwegian, and the group CEO of Stella Futura, which I understand means star of the future. Ulrika, welcome to the African EV podcast.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you all. I'm actually from Sweden, but we're close to Norway, so I'm being precise again. Yeah, it's quite close.
Okay.
I'm a chemical engineer from start, but I have been working with the sustainability for 20 years almost within different companies, large companies that you know about, Carlsberg, you know, the beer, Scania, which also has their headquarters West Africa in Accra. What else? Tetra Pak, large Swedish packaging company. But approximately 12 years ago, I went into the energy industry, and I have been working predominantly with energy storage and the heavy duty vehicle industry. And I actually had Caterpillar as a customer once when I worked at a smaller innovative company. We were looking at energy storage solutions for the large AC systems in the trucks.
Yes. That's great.
So that's me.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Hey.
I think I'll quickly, maybe if we want to get to know you a bit as a lady. I did physics. Now in my class, by the time we were finishing, we were 96. The number was higher, but people dropped out or chose differently. There were 6 ladies out of 96. Okay. So I wonder what inspired you to become an engineer?
Okay. Well, being an engineer, when I did my scouting when I was 15 years old, I understood that if I educate myself to a doctor, I will help people recover from illness. If I study law, I mean, that's you do more or less one thing all your life. But if you study to become an engineer, you can practically work anywhere in all kinds of industries and in all kinds of positions. So it was more of a safe choice for me because I don't think I really understood what I wanted to become. So engineering is a good place to start then.
Oh, okay.
But we had the same challenge in Sweden those days. I educated myself 1995 to 2000, and there were, of course, much more guys studying engineership. So I think that is also why we are trying to promote this gender equality within engineering.
But did you have female role models? As a you knew lady who was an engineer or something like that?
No, not particularly being an engineer. I think people that want to make a difference where they work, people that strive towards their goals, people that think before they act. I mean, all of those people that I have met in my professional background has inspired me, no matter if they're men or women or what kind of profession.
Okay, so now let's get back to the main topic, which is energy systems. Um, you said that about 12 years ago you moved into energy systems. All right. How come? You have been working for organizations, right? How come, or what drove you to decide to start an independent company, Stella Futura? What drove you?
As I said, I have been working at large companies with modern product development. I have been working at smaller companies, innovative driven, and I have seen, over these 20 years, I've seen not new technologies being born, but I have constantly been missing like the optimal and fast-paced way to the market. To make long-lasting change for me, you need to have the courage to want to be innovative in all levels. And what Stella Futura is about is really to reach the end client with a product that they can utilize. It doesn't matter how perfect and brilliant technologies that you develop. If they are too expensive, if they are not user-friendly, if they are not matched towards the market that they're being introduced, it doesn't help, right? So Stella Futura is all about bringing feasible technology into the markets where it can work and adding financial contractual models that also work. And that goes for if you are in Africa or Asia or Europe, you need to look at the prerequisites on the market and adjust your offer to that.
Okay.
And that is what we do.
Okay. Now, Stella Futura, what is the vision? No, okay. Because when I say what is a vision, I mean, what was the problem that you perceived? And how exactly do you imagine addressing that problem with Stella Futura?
The problem was that, for example, I worked in a very, very innovatively intense company for 10 years with brilliant and smart people, but we never, it took too long time to reach the market, right? So I saw that as a problem because the change we need going green, we need now, not in 10 years. So when we started Stella Futura, we thought that there is enough good technology out on the market, but we need to bring it to the end customer, as I said. And that not only demands you having engineering excellence in your team, understanding new technologies, you also need to have a good understanding of financial structuring, how you work with funding tools and capital to really reach the market. I hope I'm making myself clear here, but
I think I understand you. So for those of you listening, maybe some of you don't have the benefit. Last year, we had a session with Jonas John, but that was the second session of the African Energy podcast, who is a partner to Ulrika. So his background is from financing, event organization, and marketing. So you can see, I can see the link to what you are saying. And that begs the next question, which is, was that how come you ended up partnering with Jonas Johnson?
Yeah, I would say so, because when we founded Stella Futura together, and I came along with my vision, but I didn't have his competence areas. and vice versa. And so that is how we ended up. But that has also been the red thread throughout us growing the company. We have not only recruited people from the energy industry, because then you get a very uniform team. We have recruited people from, our latest recruit is from the diesel genset industry, understanding that. We have more financially directed people joining, people that are good in PR, as you say, marketing, getting the message out there. So I think it's about finding people with the strive and motivation and willingness to change.
Okay. And as you're talking, I remember the first time we actually met. I think I met you. I met Johnson earlier. I remember the dynamic because when we gave the presentation, there was a Q&A. I saw that you were all putting the same thing from your perspectives, and it was interesting to behold. Now let's come to energy. Now, okay, you are working automotive, Scania. I wonder how come when you're starting the company, you did not focus on, let's say, automotive? Because from talking to you personally that day, 1 year ago, I saw that you have some skill when it comes to energy storage systems, okay, and heat systems. We had a discussion. So why did you not consider going automotive, as in electric mobility? Why go the direction of energy first?
Mm-hmm. I would say that they are quite entangled. So it's more a matter of when to do what. If you look at pure technology and look at batteries, for example, used in cars, that is a different technology than the batteries you use for stationary use, for example. So when we did the business plan of our company, we looked at like how did the market look like? What was the clever way to start? And for us, it turned out to be working with stationary storage applications and solar panel installations. And you should remember also that our first market wasn't the Nordic market. Our first market was actually in Africa. And e-mobility is not so mature in Ghana, for example, if you compare with the solar panels and batteries. So two answers to that. The technologies are slightly different, and the market at that point pointed us towards starting with stationary batteries and then grow into e-mobility.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Now, the next question. I'm sorry, I'm trying to build gradually so that we can cover each relevant area.
Hmm?
When I had a session with Jonas Johnson, he did say that he started with Ghana because you had a connection. You met some people through a trade. Can you please brief us a bit about that? Because it will have relevance later on in the podcast, in this podcast session.
Yeah.
Ghana and Africa.
Yeah, I was very lucky meeting. Yeah, exactly. In my former job as R&D manager in that innovative company, we were working with many consultants all over Europe, which had large networks, of course, mainly in Germany. And I had the fortune to meet two very brilliant men from Ghana in one business meeting. And we started to, sometimes you meet people and you realize that you have the same vision and the same strive to do things. And one thing led to another. We started discussing, and they realized that we were working on a business plan on solar and storage business in sub-Saharan Africa. So it kind of clicked, and that's why we ended up specifically in Ghana and Accra. And I'm very happy for that. It wasn't the intention of theirs when they came to Sweden, but after like a year or so, we ended up with having like a common business plan to start the office in Accra.
Okay.
So it was kind of a serendipity.
That's an interesting word. It's been a while since I've heard that word. It evokes certain specific imagery. Okay, so now you decided to start in Ghana, Africa. When I had a conversation with Jonas, and I'll be referring to that conversation a lot because you're trying to get maybe more flesh to that conversation. He spoke about your business model. Okay. Maybe before I ask that question, let me paraphrase it. Your solution is targeted at the commercial and industrial segments or sector. Okay, your energy solutions.
Mainly.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, how do you define the commercial and industrial sector? Jonas said that your solutions are normally between 100 kilowatt hours to 5 to 10 megawatt hours. Okay, that is one idea. But how do you define it?
Well, commercial and industrial, of course, that can be manufactured facilities, but it could also be office buildings. It could be hotels. It could actually be private hospitals in a way. That is where you get in the commercial aspect. And I would say that the range Jonas spoke about, 100 kilowatt and up to 10 megawatt is where we are.
Okay. All right. Then now let me come back to the question I wanted to ask earlier, which is the business model. Your business model.
Yep.
It's all about energy as a service. Is that also? Can you maybe explain that? Well, some people were not there.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that, for example, Anthony, you are familiar with this since you're also working in Ghana, but it's actually a way for us to not putting heavy load on a client's balance sheet, right?
Yes.
We work, which is quite common now in Ghana, that a solar EPC, you could call it, engineering, procurement, and commissioning company, that Stella is a sort of EPC. We normally liaise with a financing partner, which is a sector that has grown quite fast in Ghana. And then we collectively offer a client a power purchase agreement, as it is called, or a hire purchase agreement. They're slightly different. What that means is that the EPC, together with the financier, takes the weight from the client's balance sheet. That is, the manufacturer, for example, doesn't have to invest in a solar and battery installation, and then they need to pay it off for like 10 years. They rather choose if they want to have, it's like a 15 to 20 year lease agreement where the financier says that we will give you an offer and secure your electricity every month for this fixed cost. And then you will pay this off during between 10 to 20 years, depending a bit on what the client wants. And when the contractual period is over, client more or less owns the asset directly.
Okay.
And we, as an EPC, can continue being like an O&M provider, and that is then baked into the offer. And Stella is always very, very, it's important for us that we work with very trustworthy financiers, very high quality technology, so that even after the 20 years of contract, the life length of the panels are 20 years more. and then the client more or less has free electricity, stays in Ghana and surrounding countries. I think you would agree, Anthony, if
Yes.
you work in the segment.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to add more to that, Anthony.
Well, what that's correct. What I want to say is that up till now, I haven't found any financial institution in Ghana who is willing to help us in that, whereby I can talk to Ulrika later on. I always work my way from Europe to Ghana.
Most funding solutions are either from Europe or India, actually.
Yes, yes. So,
which I think is a pity. I really would emphasize, because it's really a good business case both for the client and for the financier, right?
yes.
So it would be tremendous having more local financiers going into the adding on.
Yes, that is correct.
But there is knowledge gap, I think, also.
I will say something. I don't think there's a knowledge gap per se. Okay, we have people from, diverse parts of the continent. Olukokun or Moreni Keji can say whether it's easy to get financing from our local financiers in Nigeria. Is it easy, Olukokun? John can also answer to that. I think the answer will be similar.
And mute.
Hello, yeah, I've been listening. It's not very easy, but it's still doable in Nigeria. We'll see some financials that have their, what do I call it? Their cap at a certain level, and they tend to go into industries, into this with some organizations they already have relationships with. And I know that a lot of them are financed by different organizations from Europe. Europeans are in the forefront of this, and they are doing so well. We have the All-On program and so many of them like that. So locally, it's still kind of strict and hard. But like Ulrika said, it will be mind-blowing if we see local financiers coming into this market and, making this work quickly. Yeah, that's my own aspect. I'm not into solar like 80% or 100% into solar. I'm into a bit of renewable energy, biogas, and every of these things.
I think Olukoku's internet is giving him the challenge. John, can you answer that question too?
He's in the market. He's able to tell what his experience has been so far.
Okay, John, can you quickly?
Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing here in Kenya. We have a lot of the French doing a lot and putting in a lot of money using the local banks. So now guys go and apply to the local banks, but the funding is coming from I think it's a French development fund or something, but it's French. So yeah, the money always comes from Europe, not locally. And I think as Ulrika said, that is an opportunity that some of our local people are missing out on.
Yeah, and I think not only Europe, actually, I think it's a lot from India as well. That is what we have seen in Ghana. And when I talk to our team in Ghana, because I am here as a representative, I'm a woman, but actually our brilliant CEO in Ghana, Francis, he knows this, particularly the financing landscape in Ghana much better than I do, obviously. And I think that one challenge for EPCs now, local EPCs, is that The financiers, they of course have their demands from their funds on return on investment. So they are really pushing the local EPCs to go down in price, which actually only affects the local teams, instead of scrutinizing upwards what can be done to lower the costs on the financial side, because that is the challenge really, to find cheaper money that is built into these financing structures.
Sorry, Ulrika, sorry, just come again. What you're saying right now is that there's pressure now more so on the people on the ground as opposed to the financial from the finance. I'm sorry, I didn't get that point very well.
Yeah, the EPC companies, the smaller local EPC companies, for example, they are being quite heavily pushed competitively because they are competing against each other, right?
Yeah.
So they are being pushed to lower their costs, which in the end affects the local people and the local market. And that's maybe not an optimal situation in the long run.
Okay.
I think you're satisfied now. Okay. Now, let's get back to brass tacks. We have a big problem on our continent, and you see, I intentionally wanted somebody from Nigeria and somebody from Kenya to talk, because that's one of the things that, as a group, African India has given us access to. You're able to see the continental dimension of the challenge, and it's a big problem. Maybe I will let John speak to that. You know, we had a session where he was talking about the energy situation in Kenya. When you listen to somebody from Nigeria talking, the problem may be defined differently, but the solutions that the utility providers are coming up with are similar. And in the long run, they don't seem to be working. John, maybe you should define that, the energy challenge from a Kenyan perspective. Then Ulrika can.
Okay. So in Kenya, we have a utility provider who is a monopoly. And this monopoly, by virtue of being a monopoly, is not very reliable. So in Kenya, we have about 6,000 customers who total. Out of these 6,000 customers, we are having close to about more than half of them who are looking into self-generation of some sort. Half of them. So if it's some are doing solar, others are doing hydro, some are doing biogas, but all of it is self-generation.
Ulrika, that's a big problem and a big opportunity. The question is, if somebody like that, maybe I own a manufacturing plant or a hospital or a school even. 2 weeks ago, I was talking to the headmaster of one of the renowned secondary schools in Ghana, and he was talking to me about having to go solar for the school. Why should they choose Stella Futura over maybe the next fellow? What's different?
Yeah, first I want to just comment on John's statement there. I mean, you have seen in South Africa, for example, Eskom is now putting taxes on people that wants to go solar.
Yes.
So that is a risk, of course. On the other hand, we have a similar kind of monopoly, but rather an oligopoly, I think it's called, where we have 3 large grid owners in Sweden. And of course, they also became super scared, I would guess, like a year ago, when Sweden realized that we don't have the capacity in the grid that we need. we are also having not outages, but there are some problems, and we are also switching over from nuclear power to renewable, which also changes the dynamic in the grid. And of course, there is an macroeconomic situation for these companies because they have taken large loans and invested in building the grids. So of course, I have always believed in collaboration. So instead of doing like Eskom did, we put a tax on them. They shouldn't put solar on their roofs. What we are trying to do in Sweden is to find proper collaboration with the grid companies. I mean, they understand that something needs to be done, and we are trying to understand their situation. And in Ghana, we have two grid companies, I think Northern and Southern.
Yes,
and
Netco and
I mean,
Netco, that's for the northern sector. Then we have the ECG, VRA, and Gridco, a distributor, retailer, and generator for the southern sector.
And I would rather see having a dialogue with those, like how can we collaborate to really secure the stability in the grid? I mean, solar batteries and everything like that, it's like pacemakers to the grid, helping to increase capacity, helping to grow the economy. So I think that is my take on that one, but I realize the issue that you're facing in Kenya as well, or the challenge maybe. So Stella, why should they choose us? Well, I would say that we try to keep a holistic perspective when we do installations. We don't want to be just another supplier throwing up stuff on the roof. Shitty, cheap stuff it can be in some instances from companies way back. We try to always look at good quality and being a long-term partner more to our clients, because when you enter a 20-year contract, I can imagine that if I would have been like a manufacturing owner, it's a bit scary, right? I'm stuck with these people for 20 years now, or 15. And we would never do that if we weren't super secure on the quality we deliver. And bringing in women and having diverse teams is also all about that. We think better, we do better, we perform better if we are diverse. Diverse in gender, diverse in nationality, diverse in age. So if someone goes with Stella, they know that there are trustworthy financiers behind us. We utilize the best technology. Sometimes it can be a bit more expensive than competitors, but you also need to look at what we call the levelized cost of energy, which is how long time will this installation actually perform? Do you want something that performs okay in 20 years, or do you want something that performs great in 35 years? Last but not least, we have focused very much on storage competence. We have really tried to build a team that is symbiosis between European and African engineering excellence. I have been working in the energy storage industry for 12 years. I have patents within energy storage. I have recruited some of the best people I know in that industry. And we have partnered with what I would like to say is the best stationary battery on the market right now. So if you want a safe, reliable solution, I would say go with Stella. And not only stare yourself blind on cost, because in the long run, it will be cheaper anyway.
Okay. Now, yes, something that you just alluded to. That's I want to ask about that. Last year, after we met, 2 months later, I was talking to the CEO of a certain solar company, name referred. And some way, somehow, Stella, the name Stella came up. I mentioned Stella. I mentioned Stella Futura.
Who did you talk to?
Name we've heard for now. I can tell you later.
I
later.
didn't hear. That's
yes,
just,
yes.
Okay. Never mind.
So, and the person was like, "Oh, Stella Futura, they just poached two of my best engineers." Yeah. So my question to you is, how difficult or how easy is it finding quality human resource on this continent for you? I mean, looking at background, you're able to assess and know that this is quality, because the gentleman or lady was very specific that two of my best engineers. So I was taken aback.
First, I need to apologize to that person because, as I said, I like collaborations. But we were growing then, and you must remember that we have a strong. I mean, Stella Futura. It happens to be a Swedish parental company, but really, the subsidiary we started in Accra. It's fully managed by our local staff, so they know the areas, they know where to find people. I mean, then normally when they find someone they want to bring in, of course I have a chat with that person as well to really understand if it's the right kind of person that wants to grow with us. But then I think also it's quite appealing to young people, not only in Africa. We see the same thing in Sweden. People can say when they start at Stella in Europe, oh, this is my dream place to work, because we really reinforce young people. We emphasize a lot of knowledge transfer of young people. So if you start at Stella, you will get certified to install these kinds of battery technologies. You will be given the opportunity to travel to Sweden to look how solar installations are being done there. And the same goes vice versa, right? When we employ young people in Europe, they say, we really want to go to Ghana and see how they work there. And we really want to understand how the market works there. So I think that's quite a strong force, this pan-continental.
Cross-pollination. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Along that same vein, let's talk about ownership. When I had a conversation with Jonas, one of the things that came up was that he was very strong in communicating that there's local ownership of the subsidiary. So for the Ghana subsidiary, for example, it's both Ghanaian owned and Swedish owned. In other words, there are Ghanaian shareholders as well as Swedish shareholders. Can you explain that to us a bit further? Because I'm thinking that, okay, we have on this panel, for example, we have people who are into solar, Kenya, whatever. Maybe they want to partner with Stella, or maybe I don't know what somebody may be thinking. Okay, but what is your current structure? You are the group CEO. You have a Ghanaian CEO. Whenever you are starting, there's another CEO. What is the current structure in terms of ownership and shareholding?
We decided from start, of course, if we put up a subsidiary in any country, we want to have local ownership, because the subsidiary is there to build the local environment and grow locally. Then, of course, the parental company needs to have some saying in what the subsidiary do. So that is why the group is owning. But I mean, our Ghanaian CEO is also a partner in the group company, because there are several key people to us that should be in the group company ownership, right? So if we start a company in, say, a new subsidiary in Rwanda, because normally now when we work, for example, we have the office hub in Accra, and there we have created partnerships with companies in Togo and Benin and Senegal. So we normally do the energy design system, we do procurement because we have the partnerships with our chosen suppliers. And then we do together with our partner companies, installation and commissioning. And then the local partner company that is not in the Stella Futura group is given the O&M contract. But if we are focusing now on eastern parts of Africa, somewhere along the line, we would be interested in starting a subsidiary there, taking care of that region. That's the same way we do in Sweden. We have the local Nordic office in Stockholm, but we can also work in Norway or Finland or Denmark or Germany. But then we work with chosen partners that we trust, that we know can manage the technology and understand the contractual model, etc. And once again, no matter what we start new subsidiaries, definitely we need to have local ownership, because I mean that's the whole idea. This is not a company of greed. This is about, sounding a bit pretentious here, but I have 2 kids. I want them to grow up in a world where we have good prerequisites for a future. And if we continue like this with fossil fuels and etc., we will never have that. And if only greedy companies are in this market, it will never happen, right? It needs to start from the roots, wherever we are.
That, not to bring out an uncomfortable subject, but I remember when we met, it's one of the points that I noted, which is what affected me guys to you guys strongly, was that there is an intent to collaborate, not an intent to dominate. Africa in our history with Europeans, I mean, we don't want to go there. but
I know.
That was what I saw. One of the things I saw, that there's a clear intent to collaborate, and that sort of fits with what we are attempting to do as African EV. Collaboration is a new way to go. Now, you did say that you have partners in certain countries. So, like, you have a subsidiary in Ghana, then you have partners in Togo. Because when you look at your website, and for those watching, maybe there will be an overlay. You will see that you have executive projects in Togo, in Benin, I think in Rwanda also. Okay, you have executive projects in these countries. But now, what you are communicating to us is that you use local partners for the installation and whatnot. Is that also? Now, first question: what do you look at? What's the requirement? Okay, Moreni Keji is here. He is doing installations in Nigeria. He would like to partner with Stella Futura because he doesn't have the financial muscle to do the C&I projects. Okay. John Misingo is here. He would like to do the same in Kenya. What are you looking for in these partners? Number one.
We are looking for. I mean, if we look at Togo and Benin, for example, what we normally put up with our local partner companies is how we divide the work, right? So we collaboratively look into, for example, a local company, it's quite suitable that you do the first site assessments, for example. Sometimes the local partner also comes with the clients saying that I have a client here that really wants to work with your contractual model and your trustworthy financiers and the technology you bring in. Okay, we say, and then we commonly go through the client needs. And then the local partner do the site assessment. They keep the client happy. We also meet the client, but the local partner is, of course, there more often. Then our engineering team at some point joins the local partner, visiting the client. making sure that we have all information to start doing a design draft. And then we go through like the design, negotiation, contractual processes until we have a signed contract. And then normally Stella is the engineering and procurement partner, and commissioning sometimes. So we do the commissioning and installation together with the local partner, and then the local partner receives the O&M contract over the contractual period. So for example, in Benin and Togo, we will have one partner. In Senegal, we have one. In Rwanda, we have one. And we are very interested in Nigeria. But as you pointed out, Gad, this is about collaboration. We, European people, we don't know your continent for real, right? That is why we have our local team in Ghana. So the local team in Ghana are the ones that judge whether it's a good collaborative partner or not. They have that full mandate because they are a separate legal entity.
So in other words, let's say if you're talking about Nigeria, it is the Ghanaian, what's the name? Ghanaian subsidiary who will make that decision. Is that it? Is that what I'm
Yeah, I mean, large decision. If we enter a large collaboration, of course, that needs to go up to the group board for a decision, the board of directors. Okay. But they are normally the ones that finds the local partners, maybe via Power Africa, for example, because we have a strong network within Power Africa. They can become recommended by Power Africa. And then the Ghanaian team recommends, like, this sounds good. We have met them. Okay. We have gone through like how the company, what it looks like, etc. And we think we could really do some good stuff together. But then normally, if it's a larger collaboration, of course, it goes up to me to present to the board. But I would never disagree with the recommendation from Ghana.
Okay. So in other words, it is still largely the Ghanaian people's or the local subsidiaries. Let me phrase it that way. Their decision. Now,
yeah, they know the ground.
This recommends to suspicion that you are looking at. Maybe you want to look at examples of projects executed by this so-called local partner. Mm-hmm. Are you interested in knowing their financial strength also? Because if you're signing a contract for 15, 20 years, and you're giving the person an O&M. O&M just means operation and maintenance, for those of you wondering about that. That means that if it is me, at least I'll be eating for the next 15 or 20 years from that side. That is good for me. But do I have the financial muscle to stay for those 15 or 20 years, or the operational excellence? That means that you will be looking out for that. Is that not so?
Yeah, I mean, both for the client, of course, you always do both the financial and technical due diligence of the client, right? Mm-hmm. To really understand if the client is mature enough to enter a 20-year contract. And also, if you have a local partner, before the O&M contract is signed, you of course need to make some kind of financial due diligence of that partner and risk assessment, and also have a contingency plan if what happens if that company goes bankrupt or etc. But that's like normal business. When you work with long contractual times, you always have a part of the risk to take care about. But to my experience, those are manageable things. And I mean, Stella is always here to do some kind of interim period if the O&M suddenly should not work. Because it's not like our technology is so robust, so you don't have to be running to the client every month. It's like half-year checkups or yearly checkups, and in between maybe you need to clean the solar panels, depending a bit where you are on the continent. But that you can also have it's quite easy to find those kinds of services. So you need to build in continuity. The other option. We can't not do it, right?
Okay. No. This is a clarification question. Because the sector is young, relatively speaking, and there are a lot of young people. And we are now at the beginning of a ramp. So it means that there are likely to be more people who are new, or more companies who are new, who don't have as much experience as compared to those who have a lot of experience. I hope we are not implying or insinuating that it means that you're looking for companies with maybe say more than 5 years experience, because it may be that a company that has been formed 1 year ago or 6 months ago has more chops for the job in terms of commitment and know-how and drive.
Yeah, then that would have been difficult for us because we have only been on the market for 2.5 years approximately.
Okay.
But no, but we build that into our structure. We have a set of very, very senior engineers, but then our strategy is also to pick the best ones of the young engineers and really do a good knowledge transfer. Just today, we had a seminar with something called Swedfund, which is a Swedish fund that promotes knowledge transfer from Sweden to other countries. So we have been in a program for the past year where we have gotten approximately $200,000 to do knowledge transfer to our local company in Ghana. So we work a lot with that. And I mean, the senior competence we have in Ghana, that is being transferred to our junior engineers in Sweden. So of course, when you start a company, you need to have seniority to build fast, but many times it's the young people, and you have a much younger population in Africa than we have in Europe, right?
Exactly.
So that's quite natural to bring in young people.
Okay. John, we have been quiet. Do you have any follow-ups along this line? Because you are the people who are operating in that field. I don't know whether Mureni Keji can also is in the position to ask questions now.
Yes.
And then maybe Anthony can also follow up.
Okay.
Okay. Ulrika, you've talked about okay, but I think my questions are more on the technical side. So
Okay.
maybe once we start getting into the technical
details. Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony, please, do you have any things along these lines?
Yes, in both lines.
Okay. Let's continue.
Okay. Ulrika, coming back to partnership. Okay, I don't know if you see Solartel as a competitor or a collaborator in Ghana. I don't know if you've heard of us before. We are just a small company, just a 1.5 years old.
Okay.
Yes. So if you hear of solar energy company, you see it as a competitor or a collaborator?
Well, of course, in some instances we could be competitors. I mean, we could bid for the same installation, right? But also, if there are larger installations that needs to be done, nor Solartel, neither Stella could do it completely with our own personnel or resources, right?
Yes.
So many times we are also subcontracting other solar installation companies to join us in larger installations. So for us, once again, collaboration is key.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will end up sometimes being competitors, of course, but I mean, that is also what drives the business forward, right?
Yes.
That we are several companies on the ground trying to do this green transformation and together like educate clients why they should go solar.
Okay. And do you think, from your experience, you are not located in Ghana, but from your experience, what you are hearing from the ground, is Ghana moving in the right direction, having the necessary infrastructure for this type of businesses?
Yeah, if you compare with, I looked at some numbers formally. Africa as a whole is, of course, the new, I would say, like 15 years ago, everyone was hung up on China, right?
Yeah.
That is where it's going to happen. Now it's more Africa. But if we look at Ghana, I think they have until 2030, it's going to be 10% renewables, right?
Yes.
And the neighboring countries are a bit more aggressive, is what I've read, Togo, Benin, Senegal. But still, I also know that Ghana, for example, have this great, the government has this great initiative on solar irrigation. What is it called again? Growing for jobs or something.
Yes.
Which is, I think, on spot really, because one of my Ghanaian friends told me once, you could drop any seed in the ground here in Ghana and it just starts to grow, and still we are importing loads of vegetables and food. So I think that is a really interesting area as well. So of course in the right direction, but in this business we are eager, right? So we would have hoped for a more aggressive approach maybe than 10% only, because I mean, compared to Sweden, solar is a good deal in Sweden as well, but in Ghana everyone that can do math would understand that solar is a good idea.
Okay. So what is the downside of your activities in Ghana, without going into details?
If you compare with Togo and Benin, for example, the legislative landscape, it's a bit more complex. When you do larger installations, you need and do PPAs, for example, you need to have different kinds of licenses approved, and that needs to go via the Energy Commission, and so that makes the process a bit slower, I would say. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I perceive Ghana as a very, very good country to work in. There is a lot of young people really promoting the green transformation, and also the government has several good initiatives towards green transition.
Great. I don't know if I'm asking too many questions. Tell me, then I.
Well, for now, maybe you can ask another one.
Okay, another last
This is
one.
important.
Yes.
It's a conversation.
Yes. Last
it's
one.
Not a presentation.
We got some experience not so long ago. We were bidding for a tender, and to our surprise, the one who won the tender, what he's proposing is not near what we are proposing. We learn about that later on. And I'm told that, hey, welcome to Ghana. Of course, I'm Ghanaian. Sometimes the deal is already done before even the tender is published. I don't know if you've experienced those things also.
No, I would say what you're talking about is more of a corrupt environment. We have been lucky enough not to have been exposed to that. Of course, I think corruption exists everywhere where people and money are, right? No matter what country. But we have been fortunate to work with very, very good people. Okay. And we have never gotten any strange, requests. So, but of course, you should be careful in all markets you are. And what also was mentioned in the beginning here, was it was it John, on the role of the grid companies. You need to be, what do you call it in English? You are born with one mouth and two ears, so you need to listen in on what other people say and try to understand their situation.
Okay. Thank you.
I think
yes,
I'm
done with my question.
I think your questions though. I will say something. So I am also now contributing. First of all, I suspect Ulrika, you did not meet any issue of this corruption or whatever that Anthony has, because I suspect Anthony was talking about something government related, and your activities are more focused on private sector.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one. The other thing is you spoke about the legislative landscape in Ghana compared to the rest of the region. I think the francophone side of the region, basically, and also our renewable energy targets. Let me talk about the renewable energy target first. It was actually supposed to be 10% as at 2020. All right. Yes. So the government, through our vice president, I think in 2019, gave a speech.
Yeah.
And in that speech, he decided to extend it to 2030. All right. And not to offend anybody, but the blind truth is that the reasons he gave in that speech for extending our targets for solar to the time frame, to me, are the very same reasons why we should rather drive the adoption more aggressively. All right. And that feeds into the policy aspect. I will say, and I've been saying for a long time now, that the Ghana's Energy Commission is one of the best institutions in the country. They know their stuff. What I perceive is that the political overlords are doing a poor job. They are bungling stuff. So in the end, because they are the regulator, they sometimes they are forced to do things that or to act a certain way. All right. And it is all because our government sort of lost track of the ball. So we have overbuilt thermal capacity. And now what is happening? I remember the first time we met, me and Johnson, it was at the AFCIA program. We happened to sit at the same table. Someone was giving a presentation talking about storage solutions. And we're like, oh, the storage is so expensive. Basically, what he was saying was 10 years behind. And that was justification for saying that solar and renewables should not be driven aggressively. Okay?
Okay.
And in the same vein, because of this overcapacity, you know, we have this, what's the technical name for it? Where you can sell your excess capacity back to the grid. What's the name?
Yeah, metering, net metering.
Net metering, all right. Ghana launched net metering. But then, because of the utility company and the fact that they are afraid, they have decided to cancel net metering. Do you get what I'm saying? So it is all a game to find a use for the excess capacity. It's not about the most affordable and convenient and reliable solution for the consumer. All right. So the policy environment, be that as it may, I can guarantee you that once, as the cost of the storage keeps on going down, you will see that it will become more and more irrelevant. That is the reality that we are facing. So we have the policy track, then we have.
You mean storage?
Yes. So we have the policy, what the governments are doing policy-wise, but because of the mass scaling due to immobility, which is now having a spillover effect on the storage sector, both in terms of technology and cost reductions. Increasingly, there's going to be a divergence. So it will reach a point, either our policy needs to acknowledge the reality and sort of realign itself, or it will become more and more irrelevant. All right. It's the same reason why in Ghana, for example, storage is taxed. They want to discourage the consumer from going renewables because of this. Oluwaku has a question. He's running on battery. So Oluwaku, please, you have the floor before you vanish on us.
I may not be able to use video for now. I'm running low on energy seriously. I wanted to get the scope very well. You said in the beginning, your interaction with God, that you are looking, your solutions are mainly for commercial setup, like hospitals, private hospitals and all. So you do not have any solution for private homes and all for now. That's one. Two is, do you have any operation in Nigeria as of now? Nigeria is a 200 million people, you know. You need to enter into this market. So we have what the government is doing with the Rural Electrification Agency, but I think your solution can come in and, fast track this transition to clean energy. That's second. The third one is, let's put it into figures. Let's say I have an institution and I need a solution. You have them in scales like, okay, for, I might want to make the demand, like I need 1 megawatt or I need 500 kilowatts, or you come for feasibility studies and say, okay, this is your energy demand, this is what you get, and what is my commitment at the point of installation, and what will be my subsequent payment for the next 20 years. I want to understand the economics and see whether we can start preparing for your entrance into the country, because, man, we have capable entrepreneur education there, and there are many people that are into this green revolution. We have our contact. I mean, we just need, once you can say financing is no more a problem, why are we still waiting? Why are we delaying?
You wanted her to come and collect the money. I remember I told Ulrika this when you met that you come to Ghana to test your business model and perfect it. Then you go to Nigeria to collect the money.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. And the thing is that the battery technology that we provide is very feasible for Nigeria, because I know you have a lot of these diesel gensets standing up everywhere. So if you combine that with the battery, the stationary batteries, for example, you could really increase the efficiency of the diesel gensets when you run them and save enormous amounts of fuel. We do that in Somalia, for example. So what I think is the best idea is for us to just connect offline and discuss those things, because as I said in the beginning, of course, we're interested in start to work in Nigeria with a good partner there as well. We started only like 2 years ago in Ghana, Benin, Togo, Senegal. So I think we together in Stella wanted to get acquainted with that landscape, because Nigeria can also be quite a tough environment, right? So you need to work with the right partners there.
Yeah.
So we could definitely talk about that. When it comes to home systems, it's the same thing there. We have started with the business with the client segments that we think are most feasible for growth for us as a company right now. But of course, if there is a large set of homes, we also have access to those kinds of combined systems with battery and solar if wanted. So I think that could be an answer, maybe. So let's connect offline.
The answer you just gave, that means that you're talking about microgrids. So maybe there's a group of houses on estates.
Yeah, we work with that.
microgrids.
We work with that in Benin, for example, and Togo, which is a neighboring country to Nigeria. So that is also why we utilize this battery technology, because we have inverters that can manage very, very high frequency amplitudes, which you normally can have in microgrids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The biggest market is for individual homes. The biggest market for Nigeria is individual homes, maybe for those mini or microgrids, and they are connected in one area and they pay, because the highest energy poverty is in Nigeria. You understand? So before people start talking about business industries, is homes first. Homes.
Not to cut you, but I think what she has said, it's clear if you analyze from a technical perspective. I can understand
Yeah.
why you are, because you are living it, so you're seeing from the perspective of the consumer. But what she is saying, okay, the implication is that, for example, combining the inverter with the storage systems. So let's say somebody, instead of having a gen set, okay, right now your power situation has improved a bit. So maybe you have electricity for 8 hours or so. During that 8 hours, you can have the battery and the inverter to store energy. So when the light goes off, instead of having to switch off a gen set, okay, you just rely on your battery and the inverter, as you Olukokun used to do. You have done your own solution because you're an engineer. Okay, so that is one. The other side is that if you listen to what she's saying clearly, their business model, Africa is a growth market. So it's built and engineered for growth. Okay, so having to deal with individual houses, somebody needs 10 kilowatt hours or something, kilowatts, it's going to be too slow for them. So if you want a solution from them, maybe you gather a couple of people, 10 or 5 houses together, then as a unit, they form a sizable, it's like instead of getting one company that will give you the capacity, you have a number of smaller houses to work together. They will design a system for them, okay? Because it helps their growth model. It's like, so it's kind of clear. On that note, since you are interested, I think we can exchange contacts later so that the two of you have that conversation. Or most likely,
we're just
maybe, or better yet, we can create another opportunity where it's like, okay, she's coming to give a presentation about their partnership solution, because you're talking like somebody who is interested in connecting with them. And I think that Nigeria is actually a very good market for their solution. They'll grow like crazy. They'll make a lot of good money, and everybody will be happy. And the customer will be happy. Everybody will be happy. So, we'll create another opportunity for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Oluwaku, thank you very much. John, before we even move on, I wanted to ask a very important question. What is the criteria for you moving from, let's say, working with partners in a country to setting a subsidiary? Is there a clearly defined criteria?
Yes, I can't run through all of that now, but of course it has to do with, to set up a local subsidiary, we need to see that there is a need to further support local partners, and that is quite a natural step. We take the example Nigeria, for example. Let's say that we enter into a partnership that normally starts with that we find one project that we execute together, and we evaluate afterwards what worked, what didn't work, and what should our next targets be. And of course, I mean, in Ghana, for example, we have a huge pipeline of potential clients that we are working with. So there we really need to be present and work with our local partnerships on the ground. And if the same things happen in Nigeria, of course, that is also the next step to put up a subsidiary Stella there.
Okay, I can guarantee that in Nigeria, that is exactly what is going to happen. Because if you go that, okay, solar installation, you don't have to pay anything upfront. But if you used to pay 100 naira, you pay 50 naira from today, and you have light every day, 24/7, you'll be swamped. So I think we can quickly move on. What's the name? Akinwale, you're not saying anything. Can you speak now? Can you answer the question? Because from there I'm moving to John. John.
He has sent a lot of chats, and he said it's in line with what I'm saying.
Okay.
But connect again. I think.
Okay. So I think the takeaway is that we are going to have another session. I just look at sending a test. So we'll have another session where it's like partnership. So Stella Futura is coming to give a presentation about partnership. If anywhere we are on the continent where in terms of what they are looking at, in terms of markets, in terms of even the clients, because I know, for example, that if let's say a hospital or school or whatever, a manufacturing concern wants to take their solution, there are certain things that they need to provide. They're not going to ask you to pay $100,000 or $1 million for so equipment, but they expect you to, let's say, for example, prove that where you are going to install the solar panels, maybe a rooftop or the land or whatever, is owned by you or by somebody you have an agreement with for the duration.
Yep.
You need to prove to them that you have records, financial records, by a well-reputed auditing firm. Okay, not my cousins or your cousins, something, but a well-reputed auditing firm, audit your financial records, so that they can look at your finances and see that, okay, you are a viable concern. In other words, if you are selling shoes, you have been selling the shoes for some time, you have a well-defined customer base, you are making profits on the shoes, and that you'll be able to sustain the business for some time so that they're not throwing money away, because they are basically taking a lot of the upfront capital risk. Okay, so all these things, we'll have another opportunity where we will do this. Maybe I'll try and see if I can quickly load this the YouTube account tomorrow, or this Monday, tomorrow or Wednesday. Then we'll work towards that this month. Maybe you can shoot for Saturday,
Yeah,
or
fine.
you can shoot for Saturday or something. Okay, so we'll do that and then try and get Ulrika is smiling. There may be a stretch. So we'll try and get a lot more of our people on board so that we can have a very involving conversation. And maybe you can even submit questions ahead of time to save time. John, let's do some. Well, before John, let me come to Anthony again.
Yes.
Before you go technical. You see, so in the case of Anthony, Ulrika, you said that basically you can be competitors or collaborators. But what about if I'm playing a devil's advocate? They would like to join Stella Futura, so become part of the subsidiary, or somebody wants to become part of the subsidiary. Is it like maybe can come and invest money? I mean, are you open to something like that? Okay.
Yeah, as we grow, of course. I mean, it's also a normal procedure. If you are a company that takes in, you might be interested in buying a company.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
sorry. I think my
And
okay.
I don't know if you are also in the bioenergy. Is Futura also in the bioenergy? I'm talking about waste to energy as well, or you are only in the solar?
We have people in our team that has been working with bioenergy, and we are involved in one project where we are looking at bioenergy. But I should say that we mainly focus on solar and batteries at the moment. We have the competence with some of our team, yeah. But it's still interesting if you are working in that segment and would like to collaborate with with us being like a storage provider in some other way, or etc. I mean, that's also a way of working together.
Yes, and also where we can work together is sometimes we come around some customers, let's say cold storage facilities.
Mm.
They are in the middle of a city and they don't have a space for solar.
Yeah.
Whereby you can have something which can help. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I worked in the solar chiller business for 10 years.
Okay.
So we had, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I think maybe Ulrika, we have another opportunity to do that. Like we'll have a conversation all about heat systems. Okay,
Yes.
which is a very important topic for our continent. Heat exchange systems. So you know, a lot of people are paying bills for AC. If you look at our Ghana's energy consumption, you see that it's when people come home. That is when consumption goes up. Okay.
Yeah,
So heat exchange systems. I mean, it's a whole topic. We will create the platform for that. Now, John, I think let us do some technical stuff and then we'll start winding down. We have spent how many? Let me see.
1.5 hours.
Wow. But I think that it has been good. It has been good.
Yeah, it has been.
It didn't go the way I thought, but it has been better. John, please.
Yes.
You have the floor. And you see, the Nigerian campaign for Nigeria campaign for Nigeria also campaign for Kenya.
Yeah. Okay. Ulrika, apart from the wait, you know, well, I guess you just have to start. What kind of batteries do you have? What kind of you know, and like we're seeing some interesting things in the market, like what are they called? Flow batteries. Do you have that?
No.
And
we are, I would say, predicting the market. I would say that lithium-ion batteries will be, they will be predominantly in the market for yet like 10 years or so. Flow batteries, I should have had my CTO here, who has been also involved with flow batteries, but they become too expensive when you compare to lithium-ion batteries. I think it's a very, very interesting technology, very interesting. But we are still running on lithium, but we have also looked into nickel hydride batteries, where we have a very interesting company in Europe, Sweden actually. And the interesting thing about nickel hydride is that you don't need these gigawatt factories that you normally need when you work with lithium-ion batteries. You can actually create quite small manufacturing plants, thus becoming local manufacturing plants, but they don't have the same cycle capability as lithium-ion. We have also looked into different kinds of lithium-ion batteries. Iron phosphate batteries is quite common on the market now. We are working with NMC, prismatic cell chemistry. And the reason why we do that is that battery system supplier that we have found has approximately 8,000 cycles guaranteed. And you could actually cycle the battery several times a day without losing performance. And you have a depth of discharge of about 98%. You don't need to be careful. Sometimes you hear that you can only charge and discharge the battery between 20 and 80% before you lose performance. But this battery is not like that, because it has an inbuilt cell monitoring system that avoids overheating in the battery. So yeah, so that is why. And also when we look at the levelized cost of storage over the lifetime, it's also a good business. It's a good buy. So for us, looking at safety, robustness, and long-time performance, this is the best stationary battery we have found on the market so far.
Okay.
But I mean, we are also technology agnostic. So I mean, we always should keep our eyes open for new, when flow batteries and what kind of flow battery are you thinking? Is this vanadium, or do you know that, John?
Yes, because I am seeing that the next frontier will definitely be grid level type of storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with that in mind, now I was actually thinking about, basically partnerships where we come and approach some of our local governments with such kind of solutions. Because what we're seeing is that the local governments are now starting to enter themselves, not even the national government alone, but the local governments are starting to enter into solar projects.
Yep.
So they would
Exactly.
definitely, they would need you can't, predominantly right now in the market, we just have lead acid batteries, which can't work for them.
Okay.
Lithium ion, a lot of them are talking about the costs, a bit prohibitive. But the reason why I was talking about flow batteries was because of the length of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things that I was looking into.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, I think flow batteries are really interesting indeed, because you also can, you don't have to choose to work with chemistries that are not super good either. I mean, you have different chemistries that are more easy to what do you say in English? Recycle.
Yes. Yes.
Which is brilliant, of course. The thing is that for larger systems, also flow batteries are of course interesting, but then you have all of these mechanical things that you need to take care about, pumps and membranes and etc. So it's a more complex technical system. But of course, if you have a large utility installation, you normally have that capacity, right, to service and maintain that kind of battery. And I mean, people talk also a lot about fire safety when you come to lithium-ion batteries, but that is also a reason why we are working with this battery supplier that we have, because they have never had a fire, because they have an inbuilt system in the monitoring system that prevents that from happening. But you don't have that issue at all for flow batteries, for example.
Yeah. So, Ulrika, could you actually do grid level type right now? Do you have the capability of doing grid level?
Yeah.
Grid level, huh?
We do that. We have started to work with utility scale just the past 6 months, actually. And the battery we are utilizing, there is, for example, a 4 megawatt battery installation in Rwanda on a large irrigation plant. And we are also looking into one project in Egypt, and we got our first grid project here in Sweden also.
Okay, good. Yep. God, I think I'm done.
I think the only person you ever heard from is Lamte. He has been very, very quiet. So
Hello.
please.
Hello.
Yes.
Actually been trying to. Hello. Yeah, so I've actually been trying to get in my questions from the beginning, but I think you were not seeing my raise option. Yeah, so
oh really? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Okay. So basically the question that I have, and pardon me if I'm taking you behind, is with regard to the flexibility of
There's a question. What are some of the flexibilities with PPAs for the C&I customers? Is it benchmarked in such a way that a reduction in utility tariffs results in reduction in tariffs on the energy side, on the energy sold by Stella? So basically, is it yeah?
Yeah, you can either go for a fixed fee or a variable fee, and normally we end up, of course, I think we have been between. It so much depends on the client, but 20 to 30, 35% below the tariff, a lot depending on what kind of tariff this client has. And that could be like the fixed tariff, but and most likely the energy tariffs won't super decrease in Ghana in near time. But there is also a variant where you can choose a variable tariff, and then normally we put up a real roof and a floor that if the grid tariff sinks below this floor for some strange reason, so suddenly you are paying more with our solution than with the grid, then we always go into a discussion with the client how to fix that. So yes, you will always get a cheaper price than the tariff, but there are different kinds of contractual models, fixed or variable, that you can choose from.
Okay, I think so. That answers that question. Do you have a follow up?
But does the final always comes? Yes. So my question: does finance regard to for some of these projects, do they come from abroad or can easily source?
I think I heard what you said, Winfred.
Oh, I think she answered that question earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it's most likely financiers from abroad. Currently, we are working with a Nigerian fund manager as well, but they have some funding of their own, but otherwise they also network with other funding clusters outside Africa.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, I understood. And yeah, basically my last from where I sit, where we are trying to sort of assess the financial viability of some of these infrastructure projects, one of the risks that we, like you mentioned, is with regulation. At some point in time, imagine you are an investor and you've actually put in some capital into a project, and all of a sudden, the tariff, you are bound to make losses.
You disappear again. I heard all of a sudden the tariff.
The question he's asking is that one of the challenges, the risks that they have seen, like you, is with regulation. So you start a project, you committed yourself resource-wise, then somewhere along the line, the regulation changes. Is that also Lamte? I didn't get the addendum to that statement. This is what
exactly. Yes. So that exactly what you said. And how do you hedge against such risk?
I think that is the issue I mentioned before with cheaper capital. The capital isn't that cheap. There is hedging inbuilt into the project financing, which makes it more expensive than it really should be. The second thing is that there are not too many financiers entering these specific markets due to that risk. So I think everyone that enters, they are aware of this risk also. But hedging is done within, that is why the cost of capital is, 12%, 10 to 12% instead of 5%.
Okay. Wilfred, I think she has answered your question.
I could add one thing. I mean, you could also work with other financial instruments, right? There are guarantees to be given from West African Development Bank, World Bank, that can guarantee 50% of the investment if something happens, if the client suddenly stops paying or whatever, the 50% at least is covered by the guarantee, and then the financier hedges the rest.
Okay.
No financier is entering any contract without having their safety margins, I can guarantee you.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So basically I think my last question will be in relation to I just lost it. Okay, so if I recall, I'll get back or I'll type in the question box or reach out to you.
Okay.
Do that.
So as you can see, I said at the beginning that when we met, what I noticed about her, she was smart and precise, and I think she has demonstrated exactly that for the past hour and some minutes. She's together with Jonas, supposed to be one of the speakers for the Sustainable Energy and Transport Summit. The summit we were supposed to have last year before COVID decided to be COVID. And the summit has not come on because we feel that it's important that it's a tactile event. We are talking about Emobility, things that to a lot of people are very new. So it's more relevant if it is hands-on. That is what we believe. But we are still looking at it. There's an argument in some quarters for making it an online event. Then there's an argument for making it a hybrid. So protocols can still be observed. And it looks like maybe we may have to go the hybrid way. Because even that one gives us more reach without losing the tactile angle. Thank you very much. So look forward to the next session where it's targeted. And it came out as a result of a request from this session. Stella Futura's presentation on partnerships with various local African solar and renewable energy companies. So from what she said earlier, you can see that maybe there are instances that you have a contract, you get a contract from a C&I, maybe a big contract, you know that you cannot pull it off. You can quickly run to Stella Futura, and you can execute something together. They will take up the bulk of the capital problems. The contract is executed. You get your money. They also get their money. Everybody is happy. Okay. The only thing I didn't get is whether maybe someone like me, I'm not into C&I or I'm not into solar. I get the contracts. Can I also come and see you? And I'm also happy. You know, but I mean, because I'll be seeing you. Yes.
If you have great connections, God, of industries.
But I have missed the connections. But anyway, that's just another side. But the important thing is, I believe that collaboration. Once you're able to collaborate, we will move faster. Because as Africans, we don't have a lot of financial resources. And one of the things that I remember, John sent me an article, and I was so much in touch with the guy who wrote the article. He's not even an African, which is people come from outside, and they have come to define the markets. The solar market in Africa is so and so. And when you look at their definition, what they are defining as a market is actually like 20% of the market. All right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people you are saying are the gray market, they're from 80%. There is something wrong with this picture. You know? So
I know.
Ideas like this, I think that we are all for it in African EV. We are all for it, and we'll push it anywhere we can. Thank you very much, lady, on International Women's Day.
Yes.
Demonstrating your chops and showing us that, yes, We need you guys. We need you guys. Yes, you're not just meant for the kitchen. No,
Yes.
you are meant to
No.
partner with us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Help us
Other room.
grow. Is it?
Do you the other room?
You know, last year I saw something. They said that New Zealand, the prime minister is
Woman.
I think Mrs. Aden or something.
Yeah.
The COVID is that the lady, she just super. Is that somebody said that all these countries are managed by men. See the problem, how they have corona. One country managed by woman. So, ladies and gentlemen,
You can look in the Nordics as well. The only country in the Nordics that has a male prime minister is Sweden. The other countries have women leaders, and we really we really did not succeed that good with COVID either.
you see, the guy was right.
No, but I want to be very firm on that. We are not a women company. We are an equality company.
Okay.
I just happen to be a woman.
How is my girl in Sweden, Greta Thunberg? How is she doing? Greta.
Yeah.
You see, Nigerians, they always want controversial topics. So.
But she's not controversial. She's a very well-educated young lady that promotes her mission in a different way, which is good.
Well, personally, I'm all for her. But I mean, what I meant by that crack is that some people consider her controversial. I remember I was talking to somebody, and the guy was like, "That girl should be in school. Why is she disturbing?" I was like, "What?" But anyway, that's just it. Thank you very much. Ulrika, any last words for us?
For me?
Yes. Any last words? Any last words?
No, I'm just super happy to have met you all. I mean, God, we met last year. It's great seeing you again, and hopefully we can meet live. We're just waiting to come to Ghana and meet our colleagues again. Okay. Looking forward to our next session.
All right. Thank you.
How we can collaborate.
We'll communicate to you when that is through the same channels. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye all. Bye all. Bye all.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
all for the invitation.